Welcome everybody, welcome to this Read to Lead series of videos. My name is Anil Kumar and today we are talking about Stephen M.R. Covey's The Speed of Trust. Stephen and Rebecca Merrill. The one thing that changes everything. Trust is good for the bottom line of any business. Trust is good for being the foundation of any relationship. Trust is good for any family. Framework for understanding trust and guidelines for building and restoring trust is what is being discussed by Stephen and Rebecca in The Speed of Trust. Trust is good. Low trust organizations tend to be bureaucratic and political, while high trust relationships are collaborative, innovative, creative, and effective. High trust relationships are cooperative, collaborative, coordinating for innovation. They are creative and they are effective. There are four core credibilities: integrity, intent, capability, and results. Integrity, intent, capability, and results. And there are 13 behaviors, the ways that people act to express and develop trust. Trust moves outward like a ripple of waves. Trusting others is a way to build trust. If you don't trust, they will not trust you. But at the same time, we need to exercise good judgment when we decide whom to trust and to what extent we should trust them. You can repair broken trust and make it even stronger than the original trust. Broken friendships, mending them is easy, but it will not be same. But trust, it can become even stronger, depends on how you take action. So trust is universally necessary. Trust is protective, trust is effective. Distrust is costly, distrust is burdensome. When others break trust with you, be slow to judge and quick to forgive. When others break trust, be slow to judge and quick to forgive. So the four cores are integrity, intent, capability, and results, and there are certain traits that people express to show that they have trust and to develop further trust. For credibility, we need trust. For empowerment, we need trust. So for any organization or economy or human relationship, we need trust. The absence of trust is a cost. The presence of trust is bonus. Trust is pragmatic, it's an actionable asset, it's tangible, you can see it in every action, in every results, and it is much faster than you probably think it is possible. Having trust, building trust and breaking trust is faster, and if you have trust, the execution of your plans is multifold. People who work in a trustful atmosphere are more productive because they collaborate. They get things faster and they get things done at a lower cost. That means effectiveness as well as efficiency. Without trust, everything is slow because there is bureaucracy. Everybody wanted to be written down, everybody wanted to be recorded, and so the cost goes up because of the red tape. When trust is absent, people are always trying to watch their back, protecting themselves, and they do not trust anybody or anything. That's the value of trust. So what gives trust? The character and competence. If people think you are capable of doing something, they will trust you. If people believe you are of good character and you will be honest and sincere and your integrity is unquestioned, then people will trust you. Trust can be built, broken, and restored. Every action of yours is either building the trust or breaking the trust or restoring the broken trust. Those who speak and act in ways that build trust pursue it and create waves and ripples. And when you speak and act in ways that build trust, you become a better leader. People will be more willing to follow you. And so this character and competence, what is character? Character is integrity, motivation, attitude, etc. And what is competence? Competence is your skills, your capabilities, your work habits, the way you get results, what you produce is the competence. First thing that we need is self-trust. To trust or to be trusted by others, you must be able to trust yourself. That means you should have self-confidence. That means you should have the capability to deliver what you say, capability to meet the objectives that has been set for you. Little breaches of trust compound over time. Daily if you come late, daily if you break a small promise, these are enough to have the credibility broken once and for all. Credibility is a foundation of self-trust, and little breaches, daily breaches, small breaches, frequent breaches will compound over time. Trust is a performance multiplier. If there is a trust in the environment, the performance will be multifold. It will elevate, it will improve in every dimension, all the 360 degrees, and every one will get affected by it, or everyone will get influenced by it. So when people break their commitment to themselves or others, they create distrust. If you say you will go to gym for exercise, and if you keep on breaking, if you say you will have lunch on time, and if you keep on breaking, people will believe that you are not trustworthy. So people who break their commitments to themselves, they create distrust. Next attribute of self-trust is the core attributes. What are the core attributes? Integrity. We have seen that there are 4 attributes. One is integrity. Integrity calls for saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Do what you say what you do. Mean what you say what you mean. Integrity calls for being true to your word. The candor. Honoring your commitment to yourself is fundamental. Only make commitments that you can keep, either be it to yourself or to others. Promises are to be kept. Words are to be honored. Be true to your core values. So don't commit on anything which is not in alignment with your core values. Honesty does not just mean, integrity does not just mean honesty. It is more than that. It is being true to your core values. Then the next is, after integrity, we look at intent. Intent is what you aim to do. Ask why you want or don't want to do something. Then ask, why is that your answer? When you find a reason for doing or not doing something, find out what is the reason. Do this again and again and again 5 times. This is called the 5 rule. The 5 why rule is, ask 5 times why you want or don't want to do something, and ask why that is your answer. Once you understand your motives, declare the motives, bring it to the board. Make your motives and intent clear. It builds trust. Once you know why you are doing, then it becomes clear to everybody why it should be the way or not so. Other people may read or misread your intent, taking cues from your behavior. Your motives and agenda provide a background to your behavior. So your motives and agenda decide the answers to these whys. And people look at your behavior and they understand their own perception or assumption of why you want to do certain things. So we need to make clear to ourselves and clarify to others what is the intent. Improve your intentions by having what? Accurate understanding of your motivation. What motivates you to do this particular thing? So this 5 whys process, keeping on asking why you want to do, why you don't want to do something, and then why you have this as an answer or why it is acceptable. After integrity and intent comes capabilities. Capabilities is the tasks acronym. Talent, attitude, skills, knowledge and style are your capabilities. Talent, attitude, skills, knowledge and style. Talents, attitude, skills, knowledge and style. These are your capabilities. Understand what these are. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how these strengths match to your job. If your strengths and your capabilities are not in alignment with what the requirements of the job are, you should either quit or you should retrain. Not everyone is naturally good at everything. Not everyone can do everything. So you could be mediocre in certain things, but still, if your tasks does not match with the task that you are responsible for, that is your talent, attitude, skills, knowledge and style, does not support you to deliver whatever job is given to you, then we have a big problem over there. What are the results? The way you get results matters as much as the results you get. The means is as important as the ends. The way you get the results matters as much as the results you get. Even negative results can help you improve because it's a learning experience. A failure is a stepping stone. You will understand yourself, you will understand your team, you will understand the process, and then you will make corrections. You will know where the competence lies and where you don't have the competence. For that, you have to study the results, get at the feedback, get at the criticism. So the way you get the results matters as much as the results you get. Be responsible for your result. Be accountable. Take responsibility. Give credit wherever it is due. And then with a determination, with a perseverance, get back and get what you want. You should have a winning mindset. You should go after it. So plan what is to be done. Monitor what is being done and measure what are the results it gives. Keep on learning. Take corrective action as and when necessary. So intent, integrity, results and capabilities. The relationship when you have trust in a relationship or trust in any relationship grows from the core attributes. The intent, the integrity, the trust that you have because of your results that you bring in, they produce by your action, and the capabilities. These are the 4 that bring up the relationship in a trustful environment. Low trust breeds bureaucracy, while bureaucracy breeds low trust. It is corollary to each other. So what we need is consistency, competence, and character. Your behavior influences how much people trust you. So there has to be predictable consistency. So there are 13 traits. What are those? The 13 behaviors, the 13 characteristics. One is talk straight. Say what you mean what you say. Again, this is part of integrity. Don't beat around the bush. Flatter or give clues for misunderstanding or make it confusing. Don't beat around the bush. Be direct. Straight talk does not mean brutal or hurtful language. It means clarity, integrity, and communication. So most employees think bosses communicate dishonestly. People don't believe their bosses, whatever is being said. For example, by spinning and posing. People talk by spinning and posing, not giving the right correct information, and this erodes trust. So say what you mean. Don't beat around the bush. Keep it straight and direct. And it means clarity and integrity in the communication. Clarity and integrity. And communication has to be two-way, and all necessary information has to be passed on. Not that when it chooses you, but then all things that affects their job. Then comes demonstrating respect. You have to respect people. You have to respect their contributions. Little things matter. Do not use disrespect as a fulcrum for comedy. Don't crack jokes when it is not culturally sensitive enough. Be respectful. Little things matter. Be respectful. Reflect on how you show respect for others. Think what you are doing. Are you saying thankful? Are you greeting the people? Do small things that acknowledge and express respect and appreciation. Even if you are doing very small things, it should be respectful. It should be appreciative. And keep on reflecting what you are doing right and what you are doing wrong. Be especially respectful to those who can't help you get what you want. Don't be thankful for the people who are helping you. Be thankful for the people who are not able to help you also. Be thankful for the people who do not belong to your team also. Knowing and using the names of people who perform the menial jobs demonstrates that you care to know about them. Little things matter. Be respectful. Reflect on how you show respect and do small things for appreciation and acknowledgement. Recognition. Create transparency is the third behavior. At minimum, do not work keeping others in the dark. Create transparency is a part of communication. Saying what you mean. Direct talk. People should trust. How it is possible? There can be a CEO who will cut a deal with the union leaders, keeping the employees in the dark. There can be another person who will cut the employee's salary but increase the executive salary. And there could be another type of CEO who brings in the financials to the table of the employees and says, this is where we are, this is where we have to go, this is why we need to cut the cost, this is where we can reward, and then take everybody into confidence before making any decision that affects their finance or that of the company. So this is what is transparency. Do not cover up. Do not be selfish. Do not do one thing in public and another in private. Create transparency by being truthful, by disclosing what is right. And then the intentions should be clarified, open and verifiable. That is what is transparency is all about. The rights and wrongs. When you break trust, repair the damage. When it goes wrong, right it. When it goes wrong, make it right by repairing the damage. Make sure that people know that you really intend to fix the problem. Make sure that people know that you want to fix what is broken. Make sure that people know that you are not just covering up, you are not excusing or you are not justifying. People should know that you are not covering up, excusing or justifying, but you really want to fix the broken trust. Forgive others. Be humble. Do not judge others when they break your trust. Show loyalty. Give others credit for what they have done, both to their faces and behind their backs. Give thanks to their contributions. Appreciate and recognize their contributions. Reward them and recognize them. Give people the credit and it builds trust. Give what is due. Backbiting destroys trust. It is easy for leaders to point fingers. It's also easy for leaders not to accept responsibility. It's also easy for leaders to take up all the credit. Instead of blaming the subordinates, build enormous trust when you take the responsibility, when you accept the responsibility, but when you pass on the credits. So they say when the team wins, the credit goes to the team, but when it loses, the negative points goes to the coach. Deliver results. A consistent track record of producing good, acceptable, reliable result establishes trust. Because your action, what you produce, speaks for you. It will allow you more flexibility and freedom in any relationship, because people don't have a need to negotiate the smaller items, because it's already known that you are a person who will deliver. Know what the results the other person is expecting. Commit only to realistic results, and when you commit, deliver the result. No excuse, come what may. Next is to get better. You have to keep on learning. See your mistakes as a form of feedback. Thank people for the criticism. Keep asking. Become better. Learn from the mistakes. Improve from the feedback and criticism. Always remember that the capabilities you have today may be of no use tomorrow. Capabilities you have today will be of no use tomorrow. So, to face the tomorrow's problems, to face the tomorrow's worlds, you need to always be learning, so that you are up to the mark on the state of art technology, so that you will be able to handle the new problems in a new environment by learning and becoming relevant to the system and not becoming obsolete. Make a commitment to improve yourself. Act consistently to fulfill the commitment. Steady improvement, day by day, read a little, know more about what is going to happen in the industry in the future. This is essential to build trust, so that people will know that you are reliable, you know what you are going to do, and you know what you are doing. This improvement builds trust. When people see that you develop and that you grow, they will find you trustful. Next is confront reality. Face the reality. Have the courage to face the hard facts. Whatever goes wrong, whatever there is a loss, whenever there is a pain, don't ignore, don't cover up. It will not change anything. It will destroy trust. Face it. Sometimes refusing to face and frankly accepting the situation demonstrates disrespect for the situation or the people or the organization. Show respect by being honest. Show respect by facing the tough issues. Show respect by bringing out the truth. Show respect when others are afraid to speak up by taking up their cause. Learn from the mistakes and confront reality. Next characteristic or behavior is clarifying the expectation. This again comes by making your intent very clear. Why you think a particular thing is, after the 5 whys, make it clear to everybody your intention and motivation. At home, at work. Ambiguous or unclear expectation destroys trust. Speak up. Speak in as many words as the other person understands. Listen. Listen as much as the other person says to understand, to clarify the expectation. Make sure everyone's expectations are crystal clear. Ambiguity, uncertainty, something that is unclear, something that is confusing will destroy trust. Write out the project agreements. After the conversation, double check to ensure that everyone has heard and agreed the same thing. Ensure everyone has heard and agreed the same thing. Consensus ad idem. One party may believe that he or she is meeting or exceeding the anticipated goals, while the other party disagrees. Why? Because we always think we are overperforming. We always think we are being underappreciated. Every human does this. At home, share the written objectives with everybody. At firm also do the same thing, because you need everyone to work towards the same goal. And when it is written down, it brings a little bit more clarity than what we speak. The 10th behavior is practice accountability. Hold yourself and others accountable. Hold yourself and others accountable. Give responsibility for every person. Make every position accountable. Pay attention to what you think and say. Think carefully before you speak, and stop any tendency to blame anybody. Stop any tendency to blame anybody. Establish accountability and responsibility. At office, we call it as accountabilities. At home, we call it as responsibilities. And when everybody has their share of responsibilities, only then you will have your share of rights. First, listen. Seek to understand than to be understood. When you are talking, you are not listening. When others are talking, listen, not to rehearse the answer, not to respond, not to react, but to understand. Be empathetic. Listen to the cues, listen to the tone, listen to the modulation, listen to the body language. You are not listening when you spend time thinking about what you are going to say next. Attentive listening demonstrates respect. It provides knowledge that you need to make the best possible decision, because you are listening to get inputs to make your life better, and in turn life of the team and that of the organization better. Learn to listen for things that people are not saying. Learn to listen for things that are not specifically or explicitly mentioned. Above all that, learn to listen to yourself. Ask your brain, ask your mind, what is it that is talking inside you which is different from what you're talking outside. Learn to listen to yourself. Then comes keeping commitments. The more commitments you make and keep, the more trust you build. Of course, commitments need to be realistic. Unrealistic commitments get broken because it cannot be done and it will destroy trust. So it needs to be realistic, it needs to be specific, it needs to be time bound. Make commitments that you can keep, and then the more commitments you make and keep, the more trust you will build. Be strict, be consistent, be deliberate, be determined, be devoted to ensure that what you promised you will deliver. Be it at home or be it at work. Be strict and consistent. If it becomes clear that you cannot honor a commitment, in advance go and tell them, these are the problems I face, I may not be able to do it, give me an alternative or a diluted version. Take the initiative and prepare the other party for a negotiation for a revised agreement. Keep your commitments. Keep transparently the progress notified and the problems that you have and why you may not be able to achieve it. Extend the trust. Extend the trust means not only that you trust your team trusts you, it should have a ripple effect. Trust sows trust, be it at business, be it at home. Build trust in relationships by trusting the others involved. When others seem not to trust you, ask yourself if you trust them, because if you don't trust, they will not trust. Suspicion and micromanagement poisons the trust. Be prudent in your trust. Don't trust anybody just like that. Decide how to trust and how much to trust. Trust involves risk, but then risk management is what will give you the rewards. Trust involves risk. What is organizational trust? In high trust environment, people share information, tolerate mistake, demonstrate loyalty, innovate, create, communicate, authentically and generally function productively. In a high trust environment, people share information, tolerate mistakes, demonstrate loyalty, innovate, create, communicate authenticity, and generally function productively. In a high trust organization, it is possible to reap dividends of value, growth, innovation, collaboration, and smooth execution. In a high trust organization, you can expect high loyalty. Vis-a-vis, when you compare, in a low trust situation, people may be tied up in red tape, in bureaucracy. Neither they enjoy doing the work nor they enjoy doing anything for their bosses. This leads to destructive politics. People are not having any engagement, low level of staff engagement or staff motivation, and then it might even lead to fraud and people might even leave. In the market, a brand is primarily a product of trust. People make purchase decisions based on the degree of trust that they have on the brand. It is a brand that they buy, not the engineering marvel behind each and every product that the brand sells. Focus to build a brand strength and economic value with appreciative behaviors. The brand should have a sustainable behavior. The brand should have an ethically acceptable behavior. The brand should have an environment friendly or ecology friendly behavior. Then people will have trust. It should not be something that will have lots of frauds and lots of cover-ups and lots of mismanagements. It is found that American brands have less followers in Europe than in the United States. It's quite natural because the information that is available and the perception and cultural background environment is different. So there is a trust barometer that says how much your company or your brand is trusted by people in general based on various parameters. What is required? One has to practice straight talk. One has to create transparency and one has to listen. Be it the firm, be it the family, building trust is talk straight and create transparency. The more you listen, the more trust you can build. Then comes the society trust. In society, contribution is an cornerstone of a societal trust. The more you contribute to society, more trusty people will be on the company. Contributing to society is now considered an essential part. It is not a corporate social responsibility. It is not charity. It is necessity. It is not optional. In societies characterized by high trust, people have more opportunities to collaborate, cooperate, and consequently they have better economic choices. So if you have trust, you have choices to have a better life. Corporate integrity of leading companies matters a lot for reputation. So reputation is built by having integrity at all levels within the organization. Smart trust and broken trust. Determine whom to trust and how much to trust. This is what is being smart. Determine whom to trust and how much to trust. Based on maybe gullibility, judgment, indecision, suspicion. You also need to measure to repair if it is broken. If trust is broken, you have to repair. You have to build trust and you have to repair broken trust. And you have to ensure it is not broken. How do you refrain from trust getting broken? If you refrain from rash judgment and if you are forgiving, then there is a possibility that trust will not be broken. So refrain from rash judgment. Be forgiving. Then trust will not be broken or trust will be restored. Determine or dedicate to live the 13 behaviors that we have seen now. Various tools can help you to decide where to place your trust. That is, the gullibility, judgment, indecision, suspicion can be measured. Whom to trust and how much to trust you can decide based on various tools. But it is your inner instinct that matters most. What if you trust everyone and they all leave? What if you train everyone and they all leave? Is one question. Where you don't believe in your employee and you think if you train them they will leave. The other question is, what if they all stay and you don't train? That is trust in their willingness to stay with the company, and if they are not trained, then as a company you will lose. So where is your trust? What if you don't train them and they stay, and what if you train them and they leave? Trust is what you place on your employees. You do what is good for them so that they trust you and they will do what is good for you. Trust is not constant. Depending upon time, depending upon situation, depending upon the environment, trust keeps changing because people are dynamic. Relationships are dynamic. When you break trust, first you must repair the trust in yourself, then you have to repair the trust in the relationship. And this you can do by having the 13 behaviors repeatedly followed. So what we see in this book is talk straight, demonstrate respect, create transparency, right the wrong, show loyalty, deliver results, get better, confront reality, clarify the expectation, practice accountability, listen first, keep commitments, extend trust. This is the way you build the trust. And the more people trust you, the more they will follow you. The more there is trust in the environment, it is easy to get things done because it builds loyalty. No questions asked, people will pitch in and deliver their best. Thanks for listening to this video. We were talking about the Speed of Trust by Covey, the one thing that changes everything in the Read to Lead series. Anil Kumar here.